Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of Hardcore Photography. I'm your host, Mike, and I'm here with my good friend, Sticky Rick.
Dude, I am pissed about buying that stupid lens now.
Oh, it wasn't what you wanted?
Well, I chose that one over a Canon 10-18 or 10-22. Actually, I was looking at the 10-22. Simply because I go, okay, right now I'm using a crop sensor, which will make it starting at about around 15 millimeter.
Yeah.
But once I have a full frame, I'll have the full range of sight. Well, turns out on this particular lens is made for an ASPC camera, and while yes, technically in 35 millimeter terms, it is a 10-18 or 10-20.
Yeah.
It is made for an ASPC crop sensor. And you get like huge vignetting if you use it on a full frame camera, unless you use a 1.4 extender, which pretty much makes it an ASPC.
Yeah, that's the thing with my Sony. You can use the ASPC lenses for for like the 6100 or 6000 or whatever, and they'll work great. But the problem is there's a slight vignetting, and also it cuts you down from 20 megapixels or whatever down to like 8 megapixel. So I mean, you can use it, and you can use it for a lot of great things. But the problem is that it doesn't give you what you're expecting. So let me share you a link, and then I want you to check this out. This is the girl. I think I already showed you that. Okay, let's see. So copy. Man, this is really complicated. It's damn. I'm going to have to figure out a better way of doing this shit. Okay, so anyway, check out this Instagram. What the heck? You want to do it? Okay, have you seen the Abby Ryan link?
The chick who does a shitload of fucking selfies, and she's about 12. The chick who could be our daughter.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's the thing. I was going to see if I could get her on the show. She's not answering, so I don't really, so I'll just find somebody else. I don't care. It's just that I'm looking at this girl, and I'm looking at a couple things. Are you on? Can you check out are you on a computer?
Yeah,
okay.
I am.
All right. Can you open up the It's Abby Ryan freaking thing? The Instagram. You have an Instagram? I never asked you that. Do you actually have an Instagram?
Yeah, but I haven't used it.
Okay. Yeah. It's kind of hit and miss, that Instagram, but it's free. So, and there's a lot of people there. If you're trying to get that stuff out, you can really get a lot of interesting connections and find some pretty interesting like that. Everything that I've showed you has been on Instagram. Oh yeah. Okay. So
I'm thumbing through the photos again. Yeah, it's. I don't even know why whoever's actually taking the pictures, unless she's setting these up to shoot herself. It shouldn't even be her page, other than the fact that the pictures are just of her.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so you are on It's Abby Ryan, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. For the audience who may or may not even be listening to us, we are checking out this Instagram model. Her name is Abby Ryan, and she's freaking drop dead gorgeous. However, we're looking at some of the photography, and we're trying to decide if it's valid or not. And most of it is probably not particularly valid. So up at the top, we have some great pictures. She's got a great face, great. But I've seen her without makeup. And by the way, I mean, we all know, makeup is a big lie. That's why they call it glamour. few people know this, but glamour is an old Irish word or Scottish word or some such shit. It's what when a fairy freaking bullshits you into thinking that she's gorgeous and that she's actually uglier than shit, like a troll. Yeah, it's true. It's called fairy glamour. I know this from that Tom Cruise movie where he plays some freaking knight or some such shit like that. Yeah, it's glamour is actually a name for magic that makes a man think that like this troll or whatever will come up to this man and use this glamour magic and make you think, oh yeah, she's really hot, she's really hot. But then when the glamour wears off, you go, oh god. So anyway, I think it's kind of funny. Well, yeah, then you see the real her. But here's the thing that's bugging me. Okay, I'm wondering. You're absolutely correct. I'm wondering about who the photographer is, and I'm wondering if she's setting this stuff up, or if her photographer, whoever the hell that is, who I believe might be her boyfriend, is actually doing this stuff. Because here's what we have. Very first one.
Some of the pictures are really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that are nice, that are good, and a lot of them are good fashion stuff, and even some good street stuff. But then there's a lot that's obviously, hey, look at my, it's TNA is what it is, tits and ass, that's what it is.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot of it, and that's another thing. When we get going, I want to talk about some of that stuff, okay. Top row, third picture over. That is a picture of this girl, Abby Ryan, sitting with this other girl. And they're sitting on a couch, and they are in their underwear, which is not what I'm complaining about. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just pointing something out. And they're stuffing their mouth with pizza. Now, we know that men like to look at naked women. That is in our genes, and there ain't nothing we're going to do about that. We also know that when a woman puts something in her mouth, that is a reference to oral sex. We know these women, too, are all touchy-feely, and that's implied lesbianism. So what we got here is two hot girls that are probably, well, I know Abby Ryan just turned 21 because she posted all over the internet her 21st birthday. Now, whether she's actually 21 or not, I don't know, but that's what she claims. So we have a 21-year-old and that would indicate that she's fairly immature at 21. Well, we know just because they call you an adult don't mean you're an adult. So she's sitting with this girl. So we got implied lesbianism, we have oral sex, we have underwear, and we have two hawking girls here, right? And I'm thinking to myself, are they actually doing this, or is it the photographer? And the reason why is because in the post-Harvey Weinstein era, I don't think this is going to get you too far. You know what I'm talking about?
Me personally, I see after your explanation, I see everything you're saying. All I saw when I went past the picture is this horribly framed.
You know what? Real quick,
the lighting is god awful.
Yeah, I know. Getting those girls in their underwear with pizza, and then your lighting is that substandard. I think that's kind of weird. I wonder why that is.
Just when I see some of the other pictures, I see how well they're shot.
Mm-hmm.
I look at this thing and go, that's more like she set up her damn cell phone camera across the room and took a picture.
You know what? You're right. You're right. That looks like cell phone. See, like this very first picture where she's laying on the couch and she's staring at that's pretty decent. All right. And then there's a couple of little action photos and stuff. And then there's some other stuff that's really not very good lighting. And then there's some other stuff that are, obviously experimentation. Then there's some really cool stuff. Like, okay, so like there's this one where she's at like a fair right above where she's got all the balloons for her birthday. And I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty decent street right there. I mean, the lighting's a little fucked up, but the reason probably why is because it was at night, and that's the tungsten lighting that they used to light up the venue. But the reason I wanted to talk about this is because as soon as that picture showed up, that top picture, of those two women, I was thinking to myself, okay, this is obviously softcore porn right here, and I'm trying to figure out if that's her stuff, and she's doing that, and because that's what she wants to do, which is fine, or if her photographer is getting her to do this stuff, and I don't really, I'm wondering. Well, we know what happened with the whole Harvey Weinstein thing. It just died because, yeah, it turned out to be just a big old freaking joke because we had like Kevin Spacey. He gets busted. Well, it wasn't even women, but we knew, everybody knew Kevin Spacey was gay, but it wasn't a big surprise. But when that guy sues him, we're like, oh my God, this is, Kevin Spacey's a pervert. Okay, well, the problem is the guy can't produce the cell phone, and he can't produce any of the other evidence that he was talking about. So the whole thing just disappeared. Then we got Nicole Eggert. She's accusing Scott Baio, and so's that the kid that played the younger son on Charles in Charge. They're both talking about this, and then all of a sudden it drops out. And the reason why is because the LAPD says, "Hey, we got we don't have anything. There's not enough to file anything on this."
I have a bad problem with a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
This whole going back 30 years to make accusations and expect justice for those accusations 30 years ago.
Yeah.
If it was something that had affected her life in a negative way, the way they claim now, like she just dropped out of acting and never went back to it ever again. She didn't. She continued the craft she was at. She continued to use the benefits of what she got out of that interaction, whether it was welcome or not, and only decided to open her mouth once all the offers dried up and she no longer looked the way she used to.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
And don't get me wrong, I do not believe any human being should be victimized, but a lot of these look like more quid pro quo stuff than it does actual abuse.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Almost like the 50 Minutes of Fame, because the thing about her is that well, okay, Scott Baio admitted they had sex, but he claims it was after she was 18. So It's not like he's lying about that. When her career had ended, that's when this whole thing came up, and it came up right after Harvey Weinstein. And when that whole thing went down, I thought to myself, this is going to be a serious issue, because if everybody who comes forth about, just not just Weinstein, but everybody else, if everybody who comes forth is legitimate and everything works out, then that needed to be done. But the thing is that what we ended up with is a guy who's accusing Kevin Spacey. We got Nicole Eggert accusing Scott Baio. We got all this other stuff with no proof. And so these people's lives are seriously affected. And but it turns out that there's no proof that they did anything. And so now the Harvey Weinstein Me Too and all that crap died out. And the reason why, I believe, is because people as soon as the first woman comes forward and says, hey, he did this, he did that, and we find out that she's crazy as a loon, then everybody starts looking at everybody else like they're crazy as a freaking loon. And so then it loses all validity, because it's like, okay, is this a bunch of disgruntled women or actresses on their downward spiral that have decided that they want to try to pick up their last 15 minutes of fame?
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't dig it. But the reason I was thinking about this was because she got a great face. That's not even an issue. She doesn't have the heavy model body because she's got really wide hips and she's got a fairly small chest. So I mean, she obviously doesn't isn't one of those crazy freaking models that busts her ass to look ripped down and getting breast implants or anything like that. But I'm wondering, because she's only 21, and I'm wondering about that, and I'm looking around and I see a lot of this kind of stuff. and I'm wondering if it's